beaches are pretty deserted at this time of year, so I've just dropped my girls off, my wife and my daughter, on a beach, and I'm going to head out and see if there are a couple of fish around, just for an hour or so. Now, one thing about being a fisherman is you need a big bag full of excuses. Mine's fairly deep, and get them in early. We've got a northeast wind blowing today, and the east wind can put the fish off a little bit, but I'm pretty hopeful anyway. I'm gonna go out just coastal today and have a look and see if there are any early mackerel and see if there are any bass around. That's our target species for the day. We're just about at Salcombe Bar. We'll head out that way and see if the east wind has or hasn't put them off. So this is one of my likely spots for mackerel, hopefully. So hopefully you can see this all right. That's the line that I came in on. There's my fishing mark. That's the line of the drift, and this is me repositioning to bring the boat about here somewhere, and it'll drift across that feature. If I just zoom out a little bit, so hopefully across this rocky outcrop and across the next rocky outcrop. That's the plan. That's the plan. It is still early season. Excuse one. There is an east wind blowing. Excuse two. But we'll give it a try. It's a beautiful day, so why not? Couldn't be more simple, just a string of mackerel feathers. See if it does actually drift where I want it to. No luck so far. I've tried a couple of points. I always like, if I can, both for comfort and safety, is to head into the wind first. If it picks up, you've got a bouncy ride out, and you've got a tailwind coming back, so you can shoot for home in relative comfort. So we've got an east wind today. I'm heading out to the east. I've tried a couple of little marks on the way through, with no luck at all. Nothing showing on the sounder either. So this is just a little ridge feature which I have caught bits and pieces on before. The theory, and I'm sure there is some science behind this, is that as far as mackerel are concerned, we get two main shoals here. We get a shoal coming down from the northeast, which sometimes don't reach Salcombe, and we get a shoal coming up from the Atlantic, which sometimes don't reach Salcombe. So I'm heading to the east, hoping to meet up with the North Sea shoal at some point. You're obviously going to get little scatterings here and there as well, but you know, always nice to get into a big shoal and quickly catch what you need. Still, no luck so far. Haven't gone far enough east, hopefully. That wind's blowing us along fairly briskly at a couple of knots, so we've got an 8-ounce lead, even though we're only in 45 metres of water, just so fishing fairly vertically. And all I'm doing is just pressing on towards the east, giving it one drift over a feature. If that's no good, just move on a little bit further. If there are bass around, they're going to be further to the east, so I don't mind trying to catch a mackerel as we go along, and hopefully as we get a little bit further east, I can see some birds in the distance. We'll find some bass further up. Hopefully you can see why locally they call this rock the drinking horse. And while we're here, just say a thank you to the boys and girls up there, the National Coast Watch Institution at Prawl Point. It's a great service. They keep a lookout on boats like mine and the like, and they're a good source of information for weather, and they've got some webcams up there as well. So yeah, thank you to the boys and girls who work voluntarily up there. On to see if we can catch some fish. There is a massive bird activity just up here, so just trying to get ahead of them to drift down onto them, and we'll go up on the mackerel fishing and see if we can find a bass. Hope you can hear that. Here. I can actually see bass on the surface. Little spiny one, undersized. There's one on the edge. Spines all over these things. You do have to be careful even on the small ones, but yeah, another undersized bass. Believe it or not, that is just legal size, but I wouldn't take that. Yeah, 42 centimetres, but I'd like them to be 50 before I take one from the table. I'm going to move up with the shoal again and see if we can find a bigger one. It's quite interesting with these large shoals of bass. So I was about half a mile up that way. I don't know if you can see the boats. There's a few gulls there, and all of a sudden the gulls left and they're sat in front of me a couple of 100 yards away, but they're not feeding now. They're just sat waiting, and all of a sudden they will burst into life when the fry or whatever it is come to the surface again. But that could be anywhere within this sort of 1 mile stretch, and they'll all shift along. The fry will come to the surface, the bass will chase them, and they'll start feeding. They've started to move again now. The gulls are just moving, so they're not feeding yet. So wherever the shoal's gone, they're down a bit deeper. The birds will tell us where they are. Hopefully here. So there's probably 1,000 gulls there, something like that, and they were all feeding. Then they all sat on the water, and now they're all going back that way. I'm guessing 1,000 gulls, might be more than that. Okay, follow them up and see where they start feeding again. Hopefully caught up with them again. Maybe even find a table-sized one, you never know. Pollack, I didn't take it. Oh, and again. Ah, yes, it has now. That feels like it could be a better one. Oh, lost it. Lost it, that was a good one. It's always a good one when you lose it, isn't it? Oh no. I've got a gull. It's just got the line wrapped around it at the end of its feather. Calm down. There we are. Not the catch I wanted. Off you go. No harm done, but I've lost the shoal. Right. It's not gone far away, so let's go and catch up with them again. Right, see if we can find a bass this time and not a bird. That one. This didn't feel like a bad fish. That one's near a table size. Let's see what he measures out at. That one will be about 46, 47, so let's just keep him in the bucket for a bit. Oh yes. One from a bit deeper down that time. Just lip hooked. Let's get that out. Perfect little specimen, but it is small. Gull feeding frenzy stopped as quick as it started. No more of those. Probably had 10 or a dozen bass, mostly undersized. That one at about 48 centimetres, I did keep that. That was the biggest of the day. So I've just come out slightly deeper water, not deep really. It's only 26 metres here. Just got some mackerel feathers baited with a little bit of squid, and yeah, have a gentle drift along, and hopefully there might be some mackerel about. I'd like the water clearer for mackerel. It's a bit murky from the east blow. Another excuse. Doesn't feel like a mackerel to me, but something's taken the feathers. My hands are all wet. I was just descaling that bass actually. Can't claim to have much fishing skill for this one. It's just over the side. Pollack. Nice condition and straight back. Right, I'll drop those down again and carry on with this bass. Right, I've just got the mackerel feathers off the back. From where I am, this is probably a bit ambitious. Out on the wrecks, this would be probably good for ling or something like that. But yeah, I've got a sliding boom with an 8-ounce lead, just a short length of fluorocarbon. And then I'm holding this onto the bucket, because over the bucket, because I don't want it on my boat so it absolutely stinks. A whole squid with a couple of those Japanese oysters whipped onto it. Like I said, probably a bit ambitious for anything that's likely to be this close inshore. Good sense of smell, but I can smell that, so it's certainly going to put some scent down there. Whether there's anything there that wants it, we will see. Well, unfortunately there was nothing to report there, but definitely give that a go on slack tides over a wreck. I reckon that might be quite a useful bait. We will see at a future date. So I'm calling it a day for that. It's just a pleasant couple of hours inshore. Loads of bass, one keeper, pollock, yeah. No mackerel yet, unfortunately, but time will come for that. At least we're out on the water. There was plenty of fish about, which was nice. Yeah. Absolutely no interest in that whatsoever, but like I said, probably the wrong area for that, but it's proof that it works. We'll give it a go. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Cheers. Good morning. Well, today is pretty much a mirror image of yesterday. The east wind's still here, the sun is out, so for 2 days in a row I've come out. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I haven't looked at yesterday's footage, so this might seem a little bit strange depending on how it works out, but I may put 2 smaller videos in. I might combine the 2 days together. So yesterday stayed very much inshore with lots of bass, loads of seagulls, absolutely manic with those. Today I'm going to go a little bit further out. This time of year we can struggle for fish a little bit because the mackerel have not come in yet, so the fish that chase the mackerel have not quite come in yet. That said, there's loads of bass, so there's some bait fish around. So I'm going to go out to a reef. I'll have the outgoing tide for the whole of the time I'm fishing. Not a massively long fishing trip, 2-3 hours, something like that, out on the reef. The wind is going to be with the tide, so we're going to be drifting across it quite quickly. So it will probably be lures. I have got a bit of bait as well, and as long as the conditions are decent out there, I'll just stick at various places around quite a large reef. I spoke to a boat yesterday and one last week, and the reef hadn't been fishing that well. So much like yesterday, I'm getting my excuses in early. Right, let's get out there. Well, we're out here, and for a brisk east-northeasterly conditions are exactly as you'd expect. Lumpy, cold, but this is still a day on the water. So the tide hasn't fully picked up yet. It's just over a knot. So before it gets too strong, I'm going to give bait fishing a go. It's sliding boom, just a short length of fluoro onto I think that's a 7.0 Sea Beast, and I'm trying the squid and Japanese oyster combo again. On the bottom, so we'll just trundle it along the bottom and see if it can find anything. Got burnt yesterday, despite a fairly generous amount of factor 50. That east wind, it feels cold. You don't feel that you're getting tanned, but you do. So we're on the edge of a really quite large reef. So I'm really just shy of the reef at the moment, in 57 metres of water, and it'll rise up to I think probably about 40 metres at this section. Didn't feel like a big fish, but a decent bite. Something likes Japanese oysters. a Japanese oyster is a pout. Okay. That one will go back now. Hopefully, anyway. Yes, he's swimming down. Okay, well, something likes it, and there are fish down there. So I'll just readjust this one, make sure it's all right, and send it down again. I lost my gear on that second drift. Yeah, if you're bait fishing, it needs to be in contact with the ground there or thereabouts, and there's just too much movement over the ground here with this sea. It's a bit tricky, really. So yeah, got snagged up and lost my gear. So I've switched on to lures, and we'll give that a try. I've just given the battery a little rest, and something's gone for the lure. Something fairly decent. It's taking line off the reel. Decent pollock. Unfortunately, it's blown its swim bladder. I would put that back, although it's big enough to keep, definitely. But yeah, happy with that as the first decent fish of the day. Right, where are we? Because it's made a mess everywhere. Drop down again. Something was nibbling at that when I was reeling in, and then they were nibbling at it when it was going down. It's not large, but whatever it is, I was definitely chasing the lure. Pollock, nicely marked, that one. I think that one will go back. Straight out. Lovely colours on it, great condition. Yep, that's swimming back. I think I'll just move and try a different bit of the reef though, see if there are some other species other than pollock and pout. That's something small there, probably pout. Oops, no, it's not something small. similar size, maybe a touch bigger. Just hooked in the top lip. And again, another really nice coloured and nice conditioned fish. Well, I've had a few more passes with the lure, nothing doing, just small pollock. So I've just got some mackerel feathers on, tipped with a little bit of squid. I've been seeing bits of stuff on the sounder, so we'll see if we can find what they are. Well, I had 3 drifts over that last bit of reef with the baited feathers and didn't have a touch. Those clouds that were on the sounder, they were still there and didn't hook anything. So mackerel would have been a bonus, but if you're not getting bites with baited feathers, that's a clue to move on. So I've moved about 3/4 of a mile away just to a very small feature, which I hope we're going to drift over, and gone back onto the lure. We'll give that a little try. Round for a final drift, just to see if whatever had a peck last time wants to have another go at it. It's quite deep, this section, 55 metres of water with just a shallow rock. It's not even a pinnacle, just a bit of rock that comes out. Something's definitely taken that. It's a nice little feature, this. I have fished it before, although it's not very big. It's surrounded by flat ground, so it's quite attractive to something. We'll see, hopefully. Something's taking line. hooked in the top lip there. Get this hook out. That's another takeable size, but I've got one, and that one will return. So back he goes. Yep, and swimming back down nicely. Good. Okay. I'm going to have a tidy up here and head back in. That wind's picked up a bit, and going against what I normally do. I'm going into the wind going back home today, so yeah, it's going to be quite a slow bumpy ride, so I will head that way. I might stop for some mackerel on the way in if I see a likely spot, but I think although the spots might be likely, the chances of a fish are less so. So yeah, let's head in and I'll see you inshore. Well, something's definitely taken that. It's a nice little feature, this. I have fished it before, although it's not very big. It's surrounded by flat ground, so it's quite attractive to something. We'll see, hopefully. Something's taking line. Nice lot of fight in it, whatever it is. Another good pollack, just hooked in the top lip there. Get this hook out. That's another takeable size, but I've got one, and that one will return. So back he goes. Yep, and swimming back down nicely. Good. Okay. I'm going to have a tidy up here and head back in. That wind's picked up a bit, and going against what I normally do. I'm going into the wind going back home today, so yeah, it's going to be quite a slow bumpy ride, so I will head that way. I might stop for some mackerel on the way in if I see a likely spot, but I think although the spots might be likely, the chances of a fish are less so. So yeah, let's head in and I'll see you inshore. We've come about half a mile since my last sort of stop. There's a wreck here which I've not fished before, so I'm just going to have a pass over with the baited mackerel feathers. If there's mackerel, that's great, but also much like the reef earlier on, if I can pass through the wreck with baited mackerel feathers and not catch anything, then the wreck's probably not worth bothering with. If I get some bites of whatever description, then on a different tide, it might be worth having a look to fish it. mackerel. We've got mackerel for the barbecue, but it's promising for the wreck. Feels like it could be the year of the pollack. Makes you wonder if that commercial ban isn't already having an effect. As I thought I was, bashing the boat. Yep, a pollack. Okay, that's me done for the day. I'm going to head on in now. So yeah, an interesting couple of days. Brisk easterlies don't make for the best fishing, but loads of bass around yesterday. Difficult to pick out a keeper when it's a massive shoal like that, but the yeah, one taker, not a yacht, I wonder what that was there. Yeah, one to take home yesterday, nice bass, and one decent keeper for of a pollack for today. Lots of other small fish around, lots of pollock, lots of small bass yesterday, a few pouting. Yeah, the mackerel have yet to put in an appearance, but they will at some point. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.